Snapshot in time, guys. It's the end of the year, 2024. I'm going to do the state of the collection. I feel almost like I have to rush this because there are so many watches. People ask me how many watches do I have. I don't know. But what I'll typically say is I don't know, but it's more than I think, but less than you think. Typically is a fairly accurate description of what has happened here. I'm constantly evolving. I'm a serial flipper, but the reason I have so many watches right now is because I've flipped out of what I could flip out of, and I end up landing on mostly keepers for a variety of reasons. There are some pieces here that I could still move if I wanted to, but for the most part, these are kind of sticking around. So I'll do my best to kind of slow it down a little bit. It's going to be a long form video. If you're interested in watching this state of the collection, then that's just the way it's going to have to be. Real quick, it's dark in here, but I am going to flip the camera around. I'm going to show you ones that I'm not really counting. I say G-Shocks don't count, but literally these are just backdrop watches typically. So, you know, some Casio world timers, just some miscellaneous things. I'm not going to focus on those or show those necessarily. I'm going to stay focused on the watches that I pulled from the IKEA storage system and pulled onto the works surface here. So I'm just going to pick them up, handle them in front of the camera. I don't know all the part numbers. I apologize. I don't know even all the model number or names. I'm just going to kind of show them. Is what it is. I'm going to start off with, I have some quartz watches over here. This is a Fair and Swit, and it's actually, it needs a battery change, right? Yeah. So I need to do a battery change on that. That's a full Loom dial. At the end of the video, we'll do a Loom shot. It'll be awesome. An Islander, also dead battery, but this has the Amera quartz in it, which is cool. So I can actually see what battery I need to replace it with. So I need to get that battery replaced here soon. A Freestyle, which if you'll notice, it's doing the double click. This thing has 2 or 3 batteries in it. I can't remember. I just changed the batteries and it's already doing this again. So I don't know if there's a malfunction or if I just put weak batteries in it. So I'll be attempting that again one more time. A Timex I picked up recently. Pretty fun model. And you know, I'll get asked, do I wear all of these? No. Short answer is no, I don't wear all of these. Long answer is, yeah, I actually do try to wear all of these, but there are some of them I just simply don't wear, and I will try to mention those. But for the most part, when I pick it up and show it to you on camera, I have worn this watch. You know, I'll usually wear it like 3 days in a row. You know, the math doesn't add up for this many watches to be worn in a year. Yeah, I do wear them. I'm looking at the table here and there's not very many watches on this table that I don't wear. All right, let's go to I kind of have them segmented here. So I have like the micro brands, the Seiko, the G-Shock Casio, some builds, some wildcard pieces, and then some like boutique / Swiss brands. So that's kind of how I sectioned these off. I did the quartz pieces there for the most part. There's some other sprinkled in quartz here, but I think I'm going to move on to, because it's, actually I'm going to start off on the right-hand side and go right to left on this time. So I'm going to start off, whatever, I'm just going to wing it here. So I'm going to start off with kind of a wild card piece, the Nixon Dork 2.
11:48 a.m.
I love this watch. I actually just wore this watch recently. I think I wore it on Christmas Eve. Just a fun watch. It is exactly what the title says. It's a dork watch. It's a Dork 2 watch. I have also here a couple of Russian Vostok watches. These were gifts from a buddy of mine. I call it ketchup and mustard. And yeah, I do wear these occasionally, believe it or not. Sometimes you just need that really bold yellow or that really bold red. And I'm a huge fan of the way they do their case backs on these watches, the way they seal up. It just makes sense. It's logical. This one, I typically, I can't think of a single time I wore this in 2024, to be honest with you. An Invicta 1953, but no collection is complete without an Invicta, so might as well have one. Let's go to the custom builds. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. This guy here, custom build GMT, kind of like a MM200 style Nomoki's case from my good buddy Larry C. He builds amazing watches, and he built this one for me, and I do wear this probably once or twice a year. I haven't owned it super long, so it's hard to calculate that. This build here, Larry actually put this one together for me as well, but I spec'd this one out. This is part of the father-son build. Larry built 2 of these for me, one for my dad and one for myself. In hindsight, I should probably actually, maybe I should build another, see if I can get the parts, build another one for my son. That way we have my dad, myself, and then my son. That would make more sense. I don't know why that's just now coming to me. Anyway, next up, this is a ugly duckling build my buddy Jeffrey did, and he didn't intend to sell it. I coerced him to relinquish it to me back a couple of years ago, and it's actually a Seiko SKX case, and then it's a hodgepodge of miscellaneous parts. So very enjoyable watch to wear, and it is definitely going to be a one-of-a-kind. Let's move right into the Casio. So a recent pickup is this Casio DEP-700. I posted up the video of these straps, of these watches of espionage straps and some other parts, and inevitably everyone was asking or inquiring about this watch. Yes, I will do a full video of this watch soon. I absolutely adore it. It's nice to have a vintage or nearly new old stock Casio in the collection. I've dabbled with Casio or a citizen in that world, and they have some really awesome older models. This is one of them, so happy to have that. The quote beater G-Shock square here is the 5610 on combi bracelet, still kind of, you know, showing its age here and wear. I had to go out to the work vehicle to pull this out. This typically lives in there and does get deployed randomly. A more recent pickup as well, as it's a new release, is this 5000R, has the screwed in case back and softer band and everything. So haven't had a chance to really wear that. And then of course the Bling Master, it's always going to stick around. It does get worn a few times a year for sure. You know what's crazy too is these are solar, and I don't charge them a ton. Just the few times a year that I wear them, they tend to stay charged up. The MRG, this one actually gets a decent amount of wear, and it's holding up pretty dang good. A few scratches here and there, but so happy to have this. This is a rebuy. This is the second time I've owned this watch, so definitely in the keeper category. Let's switch it up and go, well, we can just keep going. We'll go Seiko. So again, a recent pickup. First time owning, as far as I can remember, an 8L35 movement from Seiko. This is an SLA 0, oh man, is it a 7-1, I think, or something like that. Just picked this up from my buddy Homer. Yes, it does have a bracelet, but I happen to have one of these Zurich straps laying around, and I have another watch on a Zurich strap as well. We'll get to that later. Too bad they're not really made anymore. Zurich, if you're watching this, let's do a small batch run of these Horween leather padded stitch, cross stitch straps. Awesome watch, titanium, insanely clear crystal, and a beautiful blue dial. Speaking of blue dial, we have a Seiko Turtle. This is the one that the VP of Sales, North America Sales of Seiko, actually gave this to me off his wrist at a meetup we did in Southeast Michigan. So this is a very special watch to me, and I just put it on a straight bar Jubilee, and it just, I never got around to swapping out to a different bracelet. Maybe one day I will, maybe I won't. Here's another fresh pickup for me, and a rebuy is the Seiko SARB 059, the Alpinist. A lot of people don't even know about this model, but it is an Alpinist, and they are fairly rare at this point. And it's a beautiful watch, and it has a 6R in it. It's like one of the earlier 6R movements, So this one's, it does okay. It's got kind of a low amplitude, but on wrist, it's, performing fine. This one, I have no clue of what the part number is. I'm a huge fan of crowns in weird positions, or in this case, pushers, kind of like just weird looking. And then the dial is just kind of funny. It's got almost like a little smiley face with two eyes. It's just kind of robot looking or something. So, and then we'll move on to some Seiko SKXs. I've had this one probably not quite as long as the Orange Monster, which we'll revisit this one in a second. But pretty long time I've owned this one, and it's my buddy Michael, who also has a YouTube channel, Desire 68 Frogman. I'll put a link to Larry and Michael's channel down below. This was a gift from him years ago, and it still remains in the collection. Of course, I put it on a Clockworks Republic strap with the fitted end links. If you're interested in what those are, I can try to put a link to that down below as well. I'll put a bunch of links down below. Then also recently, a lot of these watches in this collection are recent acquisitions. New old stock 009 and 007. Had the opportunity to pick these up. I don't know, man, just a little bit of nostalgia kicked in, and I was just like, yeah, I definitely want those. Will I wear them? Nope, because I already have the 009 that I can wear in some builds. These are literally just going to be sitting in the collection, and I know that's kind of a weird thing for some people, but it makes sense to me, and it's my money, so that's all that really matters. Last up on the Seikos is this guy here. Again, another gift from a Discord member. Beautiful orange dial. Like, the orange color on this is perfect. It has applied markers, and then it has that black bar going through. I forget what the model number is on this one, but yeah, and it's a special edition, not a limited edition. But again, on the Clockworks Republic, it works for me. And when I want to get a lot of orange, I'll go that one. Now let's go into the micro brand. This is going to take a minute. There's a lot of micro brands here. So we have a very small batch, Flutterman Designs. You can get this on bracelet, but when I met up with the owner in Indiana, you can clearly see it's an Indiana brand. He had his on, he had an orange one, first of all, the first time I'd seen the orange one, and he had it on these fitted links, and I'm like, that's fire. I don't know, I think he liked my enthusiasm towards the particular model, colorway, and he hooked me up with one. So, because you can't get one, the orange ones, they're not available. Next up, Hellson Squadron. Another awesome gift from my buddy Todd. This watch here was one that I just wasn't in a position to purchase at the time, and these don't come up for sale very often, and I tried many times to pick up Todd's actual Hellson Squadron, which he will not let go. So one popped up on eBay, and yeah, he ended up purchasing it for me. Thank you, Todd. I owe you big time. And this is an awesome watch. Definitely keeper status. Beautiful. It's just one of those weird ones that I just really, really like, and they're hard to get. So next up, a Draken. I forget the model number on this one. Paragon, yeah. But Destro, you'll see a few other Destros in the collection, and I'm certain that there will be more in the future. Full Loom dial. This has a really cool movement in it where it has a little power reserve indicator down at the bottom. So it kind of feels this weird logical spot in my mind where it's like, a left-hand drive Pelly or a Tudor North flag. Like, it kind of has the vibe of both of those, short of it being in titanium, which it's not. Just a cool model from a cool brand. And talking about crowns in the weird position, another gift from a buddy. Recently, I've been helping him move some watches, so you probably had seen a few of these come across on a Sunday Fun Day. I was able to pick this one up from him as a gift. Thank you very much. In a crown at the 10 o'clock position. So pretty cool. And it's a no date. So again, I don't know why. That's how I look at watches. I want them to be a little bit different, a little more unique. Speaking of unique, my collaboration with Wes and Cullen and the crew at Notice Watches. This is, in fact, the Random Rob limited edition. No longer, they're sold out. There was only 100 of them. The deep orange no date in the brushed polished case. I have at least a couple of them. I think I might have more floating around, but anytime I see them pop up for sale in my private group or whatever, I pretty much grab it. I love the watch that much. You know, I was part of the design and moving the pieces, but I absolutely love the design too. Swiss Watch Company USA. This is the, I think, ARC. It is a quartz, small seconds. You can see it ticking away there. Again, a gift from a local buddy in Chicago. Josh picked this up at the, I don't think it was the Chicago show. I want to say it was maybe the DC show, if I'm not mistaken, which is coming up, and I love the DC show, District Time. Speaking of that show, this is actually where I picked up this watch too, the Visitor. Again, I'm bad with names. It's the Deep Shores or Shoals or something like that. I purchased this at the same time my friend Leslie did, which hopefully we'll meet up again at the DC District Time or another show. But and it wears on this strap habit. So awesome watch. All right, let's man, this is gonna take forever. Let's bounce around here. So now we have a Raven Trekker yellow dial, and then I put it on another strap habit. You'll see a lot of strap habit straps in this video too. Again, this was a awesome gift. Appreciate it from my buddy Greg up in the northeast of the United States. We've been to many shows together. And to be clear, like I know a lot of these are gifts and stuff, but and I don't really talk about what I've done, but you know, I've done some things. It's been reciprocal. So like, don't think like all this stuff is just one-sided, but a yellow dial. Notice this was back when they were doing the Volt editions. It's in between date changes. This is actually kind of co-owned with my buddy Will out in the Bay Area. I originally bought this, spec'd it with Wes and Cullen early on in our relationship, and they built it. It's a one of one. And then I ended up selling it to Will, and then he gifted it back to me. But really, it's kind of like both of our watches. Axios white dial Pathfinder. I've owned a different colorway of this one, and then I kind of always wanted the white dial one. Well, my buddy Tennessee Mike, who's kind of my right-hand man in the Discord world and the channel and stuff, swooped one up. I don't remember where he got it from, but like he swooped it up and he gifted this to me. So awesome pickup. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Keep going here. We have a Notice Avalon in bronze, which I don't know that you can even get these anymore. There's, I'm sure, some floating around, but this watch came at a time where it was perfect for me because I was inspired by another buddy of mine, Joe and the Badger, with his LaVenture bronze watch. I've been just intrigued by the bronze watches way late in the game as far as bronze goes. And at the time, I was in San Francisco at the Warner Wound Windup Show, and the Notice crew released this model, this bronze configuration of the Avalon at that show. So it was like everything, like the stars aligned. I was like, yep, I'll take it. So I bought it right there at the show and have had it since then. And again, it's on a strap habit. Next up, we have a Dryden Chrono Diver. So just an insane value proposition. I think for the most part, a lot of these are sold out on their website, but they're just a beautiful, well-constructed, super affordable watch. Can't beat it. And the Loom on them is great. Now we have a couple Islanders. I'm going to bunch these up a little bit. So this is an Islander. I think both of these might already be like sold out, not available anymore. But I just really liked the design of this one. Very Pogue-like, but just the attention to detail for the price points on these Islander watches is just insane. So like most of you guys already know that, but yeah, Mark and the crew over Islander Watcher are doing an awesome job. Here's another watch that didn't even know about until I met up with my buddy Paul in Chicago. I think it was where we met up. Tried to buy the watch right off his wrist, and he said no. Later on, he did try to sell it to me, but it's a first stage Shoal Deep, and it's just a fun, wild watch. Very much like an SKX style case. And they did another re-release of it. They have a few different colorways, and I didn't miss the boat in picking one up. They are incredibly affordable, so if they ever do another drop of these, I highly recommend picking one of these up. Now we have some Borealis. I told you this was going to be long form. So this is the Adraga, and my buddy John Page actually gifted this back to me because it was my watch at one point, and then I sold it and then kind of regretted it. So he hooked me up with it again. But this is a watch that actually kind of pushed Carlos at Borealis to produce White Owl Explorer type of layout. I think it's just phenomenal, and it turned out great, but it's not technically a Random Rob limited edition, even though that I did design and push it. Then the first one I did with any brand was this guy here, and this is the Sintra, which is, you know, got the lyre lugs, and it has just a really clean no date layout with sword hands and a pop of orange. I think this is an absolute home run design. So I try to keep a few, and there was only 50 of these made. So I would love to do another variant of this at some point. I'll probably reach out to Carlos and see if that's something we can do. Another release we did with, or I did with Borealis, was this guy here in a weird colorway that was inspired by just an ad from Glycine. It just shows how good and easy it is to work with micro brands. This one turned out to be a bit of a dud, if I'm completely honest, as far as like sales and everything like that. I was just happy to see it happen, so no regrets there. And then paired it up with a strap habit strap. Okay, so that's the micro brands. We did G-Shock, where are we at here? We did Casio, Seiko, micro brands. Now we can move on to what I'm going to classify as probably like some Swiss made, some boutique brands, stuff like that. So Hamilton here, again, on another Zurich strap. I absolutely love these straps. I'm bummed that they're gone. There's still some floating on their website, but they're pretty much sold out. So another gift from my buddy Todd, actually, on this one here, and this one came at a special time too. I'm not going to get too involved in it, but it was almost a year ago. Actually, it was the first weekend of 2024, and we got to meet up, and I went through some stuff, and that was just a little pick-me-up, so I appreciate it, Todd. Another recent pickup here is the Unimatic South Park from Exquisite Timepieces. These are limited. It comes with a pretty special kit. I'm just a huge fan of the show. I don't know. I know the show can be pretty messed up sometimes, but it's just a fun show, and it's a fun watch to go with it. And they're pretty affordable. It is a quartz movement, though. You can see it kind of ticking. I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. I have the Oak and Oscar Humboldt GMT, and I recently went down to an event they do every year, and I picked up this strap because the bracelet is really good, but this strap is perfect for me in this watch. So I added that, and white dial. So this was a pickup from my buddy Josh, who wanted me to experience the brand, and thankfully I did. So I could see probably getting another Oak and Oscar in 2025 potentially. We'll see what happens, but I love the brand. I love what they're doing, so happy to be an owner of one. This one here, I'm not 100% sure technically if I own it at this point, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the mix because I do want to own it. So I'll reach out to Christopher Ward. This was part of a batch that they sent over for video reviews, and they said I could hold on to one. I took it as I could hold on to it for a while. So I've been doing just that, and it's a great model. It's one that's kind of slept out. Again, crowns are in weird position. It's just a great watch. I would like to pick up the bracelet that goes along with it, but in the meantime, you've noticed most of my watches are on straps, and that one's on a strap habit. This one, you guys don't even know until now that I picked this up from Exquisite Timepieces. The ZRC, everyone probably assumed I was going to pick up the orange dial variant, and even I did. But this one, with the warm tones, the black case, the full Loom dial, it just no date, or it looks like a no date to me because I can't see. But yeah, it does have a date of 3 o'clock. I just instantly gravitated toward it, so I went ahead and picked this guy up as well. Squale 1521. I've owned them in the past. I knew I wanted another one, but it wasn't until I found this guy. I mean, up until I found this guy, I was legit looking to reach out to Squale to see if I could do a Random Rod limited edition launch with him, and that still might be in the books. I'll have to reach out to him, but I loved the fat orange colored in minute hand, and then the crown position up near the 10 o'clock, and it's a very small batch. There's only 65 of them. This is number 31 of 65, and it's from a authorized dealer in Italy, which is more appropriate, I think, as well, called Grimaldi. So awesome pickup. I love that watch. The Steinhardt Mechanical. Now, typically I don't resonate with mechanical watches, let alone chronographs But I do like to challenge myself sometimes, and you're going to see that with this one and a couple others. But yeah, mechanical Swiss movement, and it is a single pusher chronograph. So I'm actually kind of digging this watch. And then I paired it up with a technically used strap, but it doesn't look like it's been worn much. But this is a beaver tail strap paired up with it, and I absolutely love the combo. Next up, another rebuy, the Longines Big Eye Petroleum Dial Grade 5 Titanium, again paired up on a Zurich leather Horween strap. Picked this one up from my buddy Jake at Trifecta. So yeah, rebuys tend to stick around. I have no intention of getting rid of this watch. I absolutely love it. And the first go around when I owned this watch was easily my most worn watch that year, which I think was 2023 or something, 2022, something like that. So very happy to have it back. And then nearly to the end here, we have the Doxa Sub 300T orange dial, classic configuration. Don't wear this one nearly as much as I should. Absolutely love the watch. So much so that it almost pushes me to buy more Doxa, which is potentially going to happen. I'm going to talk more about my purchasing for 2025. And then, of course, the most worn, my favorite watch, the Seiko Orange Monster SRP 309 with its fade and everything. Still just absolutely in love with this watch. It's all the rest of them could go. I don't want them to. I definitely don't want them to. I have a pretty good lineup here. Oh, I forgot one other because I didn't pick it up because it's probably going to be for sale soon. But the Studio Underdog Fried Egg is a recent pickup. I just need to do the video on it, share it with a couple folks, and then that's going to get flipped. But other than that one, most of these are probably going to stay around. I can't visualize letting any of these go. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but that's just where I'm at in life. But what does 2025 bring, right? So what's going to happen in 2025? I'm going to slow down. Don't get that twisted. The channel still might buy a bunch of watches, but me personally, right? The watches that I actually want to acquire, you can kind of see I don't scale too high. Yes, I flirt with some $2,000-$3,000 watches, $4,000 potentially occasionally, but that's just not my comfort zone. So my comfort zone is definitely on the more affordable side. So we'll see what kind of stuff the micro brands put out. We'll see what else kind of pulls me in. This one's going to come as a shocker. I'm actually looking at a Grand Seiko. So, and we'll talk about that soon. But as far as purchasing, it's going to be well within my comfort zone, and I might even reduce at least the watches that I actually go after, maybe to like 1 1/4. That's a fun little experiment I might try. We'll see if I can adhere to it. I think financially I probably can because, yeah, I don't have any money. So it's all right here, sadly. Let me turn off the studio lights so you guys can see the Loom. A lot of these are dive watches. A lot of them are micro and Seikos, so they always loom up really well. Thank you for watching. I know this was long form. I apologize, but we have to do it, right? Dang, that looks cool. I'll see you guys in the next vid.